Happy Rising, St. Lucia, and wherever you're watching from, happy rising to you. It is DBS This Morning, the show that will always wake you up in the know and with some good vibes. I'm Chayla Mendez, your morning host, and we are going to wake you up in the know. You should know already. I mean, come on. It's the middle of the week, so it's time for our morning news highlights.
Good morning. Climate action is the main focus of this year's Annual General Assembly, or AGA, of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union, CBU. The 55th Assembly and 35th CBU Caribbean Media Awards is taking place in Belize, from August 11th to the 14th, 2024.
All of these organizations supported the CBU strategy to incentivize the coverage of environmental content in radio, print, television, and digital media through this year's Caribbean Media Awards. And it's really important. We have to find a way to discuss these issues that mean more to our people, because the correct decisions have to be made now to preserve the future. And whatever is required to get that conversation being part of general public discourse among all generations is really important. Most of us sit here in this room. Probably it's not our problem, but it is our problem, because our children and their children are going to have to live in this space.
The CARICOM Secretariat is looking to enhance its collaboration with the regional media. CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett stressed that the media holds a key role in providing a platform for scientists, activists, and policymakers to communicate directly with the regional public. The St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association, the SLMDA, is reporting a cordial meeting with the Cabinet of Ministers. The meeting took place last week after the SLMDA sent a letter to the Board of Directors of the Owen King EU Hospital expressing concern about conditions at the hospital and urging action to address several issues such as the lack of beds, essential medication, and medical equipment at the island's primary public health facility. In response to the concerns raised, the Prime Minister and his cabinet held a dialogue with the SLMDA's leadership. Following that meeting, Dr. Merle Clark, the president of the SLMDA, disclosed that the Prime Minister has pledged immediate financial support to address the pressing issues. Additionally, the Prime Minister committed to holding a follow-up meeting later in the month. Although the Board of Directors acknowledged receipt of the SLMDA's letter, they have yet to respond comprehensively to the concerns raised in the missive. Venezuelan ambassador in St. Lucia, Leif Escalona, says that coverage of Venezuela's recent elections by several international media outlets paint very inaccurate pictures of the situation on the ground. She went through great pains this week to explain to the media how the electoral process in Venezuela works and what is actually transpiring in the country.
It's about the manipulation that the media is trying to show, and everybody said the second candidate is the winner. But we have our Electoral National Council, who is only one institution responsible to offer the final result. And at the same date of the elections, at very late, at 12 a.m. of the 29th, the National Electoral Council announced, with the 80% of the scrutinies of the act, that the winner is the actual president, Nicolas Maduro.
Several governments have been calling on Venezuela's National Electoral Council to release a full set of voting tally sheets after both Maduro and opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez declared they won the election. Brazil has been trying to broker talks between the two sides. Now, the head of the local boxing association has been responding to news that boxing is not currently on the program for the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. David Christopher is optimistic that this will change, especially after the president of the International Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach, hinted that the decision might be reviewed or revised by 2025.
Ongoing situation. It starts in 2016 from Rio, where we had a problem with AIBA and the IOC, where they have some discrepancy in judging and different things like that. And that escalated into change of two different presidents, and then it's now a war between IOC, AIBA, World Boxing. So this is a long issue going on and on, like when family fighting for land.
The boxing competition at the recent Paris Olympics was managed by the IOC after it stripped the International Boxing Association, or IBA, of recognition last year over the IBA's failure to implement reforms on governance and finance. These are your top stories. Thanks for watching.
So blessed rising to everyone, including some of our late risers. But this is why we're here, to be your wake-up call, and you still have time to catch up, because in the meantime, we're going to catch a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with lots more for DBS This Morning. Welcome back. You should know already it's DBS This Morning, but in case you don't know, it's okay. That's what we're here for, to keep you in the know. And in this segment, we're catching up with Colin Weeks of Dove Productions, who is bringing us for the 11th year the Caribbean Youth Film Festival. Hey there, everybody. Good morning once again. I am here with Colin Weeks, and we are here to talk about the 11th installment of the Caribbean Youth Film Festival. Now, obviously, I've been out for about 2 years, so I'm happy that I'm home at this time specifically so I can catch up with you on this, because I feel like it's been way too long, and I'm so thrilled when I got the news that it's happening again. And obviously, I know there's newer elements as well. So, Colin, thank you for being here, and let's talk about what's happening for the 11th anniversary.
Thank you for having me, and again, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, but we're on our 11th year, as you indicated, and it is just a thrill every year to do this, to introduce young people to filmmaking. We have such a cadre of talent on the island, and it's always good to just keep on sharing that knowledge and seeing the bright faces and seeing the careers that have happened through the festival. And so that's what we're pleased about, that every year we do this, and we're just elated again to do this.
So let's talk about what's happening for this year, and in terms of any new elements as well that we're seeing.
Well, this year we continue on the same path, really, because as I indicated, that we have new people every year. So it's an introduction to 10 new faces, but we do have a lot of repeaters also. So what we're going to do, but every year what we try to do is bring in a theme, so we work along with that theme. So this year we're doing Chronicles, Folktale Chronicles. So the idea is to introduce our young people to our folk characters. Yeah, as I always say, that we see the Harry Potters, we see all the other, things on TV and making billions of dollars of it, and we fail to even tell our own stories. And for some reason, we also give our stories a darker image than it needs to be. We could have fun with it. It doesn't have to be this grueling, situation where even if you talk about a Bolom, it doesn't have to. We could bring him in a different light. We could show him or her in a different way. It could be a comedy. You know what I mean? So there's so many things that you could do with it. So it doesn't have to be this situation where you're telling a story to scare somebody every time. So that's what we want to do with it. We want to introduce them to different ways of telling that story, but using the characters.
Now, I'm happy that you highlighted that element, because recently on social media, we've been seeing a trend. There's a particular account, and they've been posting folklore from different islands if it were to be recreated into a Disney movie. And, so one of those, they were talking about Sukuyo, and it was so interesting because it was a Caucasian man relaying these versions of the stories. And I'm like, here you are saying this now, and a few months ago, seeing these things starting to go viral, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's true. If we take our own folklore and animate it, there's so much we can do with it. Like you said, not just from the dark and eerie or scary, but also light, funny, comical, and there are stories to be told. We can animate our own culture.
Exactly. And extending stories out of it. I mean, it's true that we have those characters, but what's about complementary characters to bring across the story? A little girl, a little boy, a mother, uncle, that's in the fray of whatever the story is.
Grandmother of the neighborhood.
Grandmother of the neighborhood. So, everything could be just very Caribbean, very St. Lucian. We bring in that twang, that people haven't heard before. Let them, we bring it into the dialogue. I mean, years ago they did that movie down here. And it was so funny that it was actually aired on ABC in America. But we did that story. They did that story down here on the Shark Tale, which was that happened in Soufrière and so forth. But it was actual real patois cursing in this thing, and that was on live. That was actually on ABC. That was actually in the movie. But nobody really thought it. I mean, but if we did it, we were like, what is bad language on TV? But so we have to understand that we could use, and it's fresh to the air. It's fresh to the air. And the other thing too is that look at what's happening with Julian Alfred in terms of just exposing one thing could expose us, and we keep on shooting ourselves in the foot, really and truly, by not pushing our own culture out there, our own being. We think that for some reason we are substandard to everything else that's happening in the world. We are not. We are not. Our stories are just as rich as everything else that we see on the screen.
Absolutely. Now, you see, this is what we want to highlight as well. And this is why the festival is here. Because if we can tap into that talent and harness that creativity and imagination from the youth, but pulling these stories from our island, from our region, then we have something that is unique, something that is marketable, and something that the world will want to see, as well as us as St. Lucians. So, Colin, I want to thank you so much, one, for coming through today to enlighten us, and two, for just, come on, it's 11 years going strong. You've gone through the pandemic, and we're out of it, and we're still going strong and thriving. So this is an important space that you are creating, and we want to thank you for that. When is the program going to end?
We end on the 23rd of August, and so we started on the 5th, and we're going to be ending on the 23rd. So we're going to bring them through a number of different classes on filmmaking. So we have done directing, cinematography, music, editing, makeup, so we kind of just go through the whole thing, writing,
Definitely. Yeah. Well, this is what we're loving to hear. We're going to make sure we do a follow-up closer to the ending as well, so we can see where things are at and what's happened, and where they've gotten with the theme. So, Colin, thank you so much again for coming through. And St. Lucia, remember, it's 11 years of the Caribbean Youth Film Festival. That says a lot. Yes. But we'll follow up soon, so we'll see you next time. It's DBS this morning, and I want to make sure I have my poise, my grace, my posture, and my walk. Because in this segment, we are catching up with a young man by the name of Siobhan, who is one of the organizers for the Miss Teen St. Lucia pageant. And we're going to find out a little bit more about the mission, because it might be a lot more than meets the eye. Happy Rising, everybody. I am here. We're getting straight down into business. I have Siobhan here with me, and he's a co-director of the Miss Teen St. Lucia pageant. Of course, you'd remember that we had the lovely Janika Clary, the reigning Miss Teen St. Lucia for 2024 with us. So I thought it was only fitting. I know that Siobhan has been featured before, but when you discover things otherwise that has not been brought to light, you have to do it. So Siobhan, first of all, I want to thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Sheila.
You're welcome. And secondly, I want to thank you for what I've now discovered that's happening with the pageant, because yourself, your team, I know it is an aim and a push to create a space for persons who normally would be left out on the pageant scene or not be considered just based on traditional pageantry restrictions. You understand? So I want to say, and when I discovered that, thanks to our casual conversation, I'm like, I had to have you here, because this is something phenomenal, because it's relatable for me. We have a young mom who is so articulate, intelligent, not just beautiful, reigning right now with a mission to let other young persons who have become mothers or fathers just realize that, hey, you can still pursue your dreams. You might have to take a different route, but nothing stops you. So I think it's phenomenal that there's a platform that creates this sort of space. And why did you choose to do that? And where did the idea come from?
Why? So Miss Teen has been around for 3 years. This is our 3rd year. And every year we want to do something a little different. We want to, push boundaries and also be with a pageant that has that sort of energy behind it. Yes. So last year we had our first plus size contestant, and she did really well. That was Teresa Timet. And this year we have of course, Janica Clary, our current queen. And we wanted to make, again, since this is a space for young women to actually be themselves, we couldn't say, you know what, because you have a child or because you did this or did that, you can't be part of this pageant. So again, we want to push the label of being inclusive to everyone. So hence why we allowed young mothers to compete this year in Miss Teen. So be a young mother, be you a tomboy, be you somebody who is skinny, be you plus size or so. I think we have a space for everybody who wants to partake in Miss Teen St. Lucia.
Now, when we had this discussion, what really hit home for me, obviously, I had my son at 21, and I was like, oh, there's the end of my pageant dreams. And back then I did get approached for National Queen Pageant, but I turned it down because at that point, you're just on the verge of 21. So confidence, insecurities are high. You don't really know yourself still. That's the point of this self-discovery. And the major regret I had once I discovered I was having my son is the fact that I had allowed my own fears and insecurities to prevent me from doing something that now I'd never have a chance to do. So once I heard this, I know what this means to others like myself and others, younger than myself coming up now that we have this opportunity. So what are some of the things that we can look forward to? Because I know you guys are on that mission in creating these safe spaces and these avenues to showcase the talent. So what can we expect next?
Okay, so for Miss Teen, we have a calendar of activities for our queen and also our current roster of girls. So from October, we have a breast cancer initiative happening for breast cancer. We have something for Christmas happening where we give back to our community as well. The kids for sure, because we want to ensure that it's a teen-friendly pageant and we have to do things for the kids. Next year, we have auditions for our 4th cycle as well. And we will be doing a lot of activities for around the island to ensure that people get to partake in Miss Teen St. Lucia. Yes.
Now, for persons, obviously, we want them to follow this movement, follow the mission. Janica as well clearly stated that she has a mission, not just for the youth, but for young moms and persons to encourage them as well. So I know there's going to be a lot happening. How can we follow her journey as well as the journey of this pageant as we move forward for year 4?
Okay, so thankfully, both our pageant and also Janica's Instagram name is called Miss Teen St. Lucia. So you could find both of us on there and also on Facebook as well, Miss Teen St. Lucia pageant on Facebook as well. When it comes to our numbers, you can contact me on 519-9595 and any info you need when it comes to what we're doing, what we're having, reach me there as well. Because again, I want to create a space where young girls and young children in general can actually be able to express themselves in the right forum. Right. So again, this is what Miss Teen is about, for sure.
And you see, I can tell that is something that is passionate on your end. And obviously, your team must be mirroring that energy because the pageant is doing very well. And look at what is coming out here. So St. Lucia, it just shows that the sky is the limit and nobody gets left behind, okay? So we don't have to feel like it is a curse or a burden that we've had our children. No, it doesn't stop us. Case in point, look at what I'm doing now. And persons would have thought all those years back then, it was the end of my world. I was actually told that too. So I'm thanking you for making sure that we take the steps to change the future and let people know you have the opportunities. It's within you despite what happens, whatever your life journey takes you on. You can still do what you need to do. And Siobhan, I'll let you have the final word. Just leave a message to motivate the people out there as well so they can continue pushing and doing the things that they love.
Thank you. So as a pageant boy myself, I would like to thank people like Miss Teen St. Lucia for sure, and also Miss Cicero because they also allow mothers to compete in the pageant as well. And if you look on the global scale, we have Miss Universe and also Miss World, who now allow wives, mothers to actually partake in pageantry. So the world is changing and things are changing and people, if you have a passion, something that you love to do, find the right ways to actually express and do those things because you never know where you might end up, to be honest.
Thank you so much. Well, this has definitely been such an enlightening conversation towards the latter part too. I learned about Miss Universe and Miss World, which I had no clue about with these inclusions. So it is showing that it's the signs of the times. Things are changing. And this means you can pursue your dreams. Don't let anything stop you. We'll see you next time. It's DBS This Morning. I'm Chayla Mendez here to let you know in this segment, get ready to sit back, relax a little bit. Flowers are something, when we think of the Caribbean, we know how beautiful and vibrant it can be. And if we think of St. Lucia too, we have beauty naturally here on the island. This segment, we're going to sip and bloom. Or rather, I stand corrected. We're going to bloom and sip. Let's check it out. Hey St. Lucia, good morning. It is a beautiful Sunday here. I'm so happy that I made my way over to Cap Mazor because the most amazing event is happening, and a best way to spend your Sunday to sip and bloom. This is why we are all floral, and I'm so thrilled because I have the CEO of the Dreamy Group here with us, Natalie John, who is St. Lucian, doing amazing things here in St. Lucia as well in St. Kitts. But first of all, it's all about today's sip and bloom. So Natalie, you look beautiful. How are you today?
Thank you, Shayla. I'm doing pretty well. Wonderful.
And listen, it's a beautiful day, amazing weather. I feel like it's just perfect for what you are going to be doing here today with our guests.
Yeah, definitely. For our Bloom and Sip experience, I normally like to have it outdoors because I normally say it's the Caribbean, and what best way to showcase the Caribbean but outdoors. And St. Lucia at this amazing location, Cap Mazor, you have Pigeon Island in the background, you have the Caribbean Sea in the background. So it's definitely an afternoon worth enjoying with your friends.
Super. Now, for those who are home who may have missed out on this amazing event, let's talk about what Sip and Bloom is all about. Because I feel like people know the concept. We have Sip and Paint, but Sip and Bloom is going to give you a different experience.
Okay, Sheila. So I've actually changed it and I've said Bloom and Sip. Why Bloom and Sip? Because really it's about blooming, your time to shine, to get the best out of you. And so while it's not for females only, since I started it's mainly females who have attended. So it's really an afternoon putting your creativity to light. Flowers is I would say my second or third career, having started with weddings when I went into the whole world of events. But flowers bring me a calm. And for somebody like me who's always busy, I thought, why not share that with other persons, other clients of mine, give them an opportunity to come learn more about flowers, touch, feel them, not just the regular roses that you know, but to introduce them to other florals. And plus we talk about sustainability, so I normally like to push fresh blooms and explain the whole concept of how to take care of your flowers while at the same time sipping on delicious wines and foods and just having a relaxing environment.
That's how you know it's only going to get better. And just like you rightfully said, flowers have a special way of calming, making you feel happy, making you, it evokes whatever emotion you're feeling. If you're feeling excited, and not to mention being here in the Caribbean, St. Lucia specifically, that's why I'm in my bright colors as well, because when I think of home, I think of flowers, and that just gives me life. Now, in our daily life, it's stressful enough as is. So events like this, I think it's something needed, and especially this is what you're passionate about, because first of all, St. Lucia, as I mentioned in the starting, she is the CEO of the Dreamy Group, but she does floral work. She's amazing when it comes to, what she does as a florist, but she's merging all these things together, and I feel like that's the beauty of what's happening here today, because it's a lot of what you love and a lot of your talent, and you're pulling it all together in one space.
Definitely. And this upcoming year, 2025, marks 25 years of Dreamy. And so it's also my time of giving back. I think now it's all about, for me, mentorship. Having been away from home for the last 24 years, I've recently returned. I've opened a floral store at the Harbor Club here. And so for me, I would love to mentor our young entrepreneurs. Get into year 25 as a small business is no easy feat, having gone through financial crisis, COVID, 9/11, and today that we're still here to celebrate 25 years. So I really want to share to persons who, are excited about whatever it is they do. But the success of running a successful business is not easy. And so that's what I want to do in year 25. And so having Bloom and Sip is an introduction to that. So I share my story, hoping that I could be inspiration to some of the persons, and they too could share their stories, and that we could really make it better for all of us here in St. Lucia.
Absolutely. Now, this is what I'm loving, and I had not realized 25 years. Like you said, that is not something to stay calm about. You need to make noise, because so much has happened within the last 25 years, especially the last 5. So it is amazing to be here to celebrate. And what started your journey 25 years ago, to get into this?
Oh boy, I normally say it's divine intervention because I had recently moved from St. Lucia to St. Kitts where I worked at the ECCB. I didn't like it and I was on assignment in Anguilla and I saw a couple getting married on the beach. And at the time I thought St. Lucia had nice beaches until I saw white sand beaches in Anguilla. So that was my first foray into a destination wedding. Come maybe like 6 weeks later, I got an email from this gentleman asking for information about St. Lucia. He wanted to come and renew his vows. I gave him, long story, I gave him all the information, and that's back in 1999. Wow. And I'm asking questions like, P.S., how did you get my email? Because that was really at the start of the internet age, right? And he said he had just chosen my name randomly. I gave him all the information. I planned the wedding from St. Kitts, got my mom and a few other people to help. I got the same marriage officer who married him 10 years prior. It was a success. It was at Pigeon Island. Paid everybody, had some like $300 left, and I thought, oh my God, how lucky am I to stumble upon this? And he said, it was great. Do you want a testimonial for your next client? And that really brought me to the start of Dreamy Weddings, and we got contracts with the cruise lines and so forth, and we just grew from country to country, operating in 13 Caribbean islands, and then 8 years ago, ventured into the world of florals. So I normally like to do complementary businesses to the core.
Right. Well, you know what? This is an amazing story. And again, zero regrets that I'm here today to bloom and sip. All right. And as you can see, we all look lovely. It's tropical. The sun is out. The weather is great. And hopefully this story can inspire you, because 25 years ago, I do agree with you. It sounds like divine intervention. So you never know when opportunity is going to come knocking. Let Natalie's story inspire you. And before we go, can you just let persons know how they can follow you on social media so they can always keep in the know?
Definitely. So you could also follow the Dreamy Group St. Lucia on Instagram, on Facebook. You could follow me as well. It's Natalie John on social media, or Natalie N. John. I'm also there. I love sharing as well, just any and everything. And you can always DM message. I love to ask and answer questions, so definitely.
Well, I feel like the people can feel this personality radiating and all that warmth. So don't hesitate to reach out if you need a wedding planned or any special occasion. Or maybe you might want to bloom and sip and find out how soon is she going to have the next one. So that's why you need to follow. And Natalie, thank you so much for taking time out. And we shall let you get back to the festivities.
Definitely. Thank you, Shayla. Thanks for taking time out of your Sunday. I truly appreciate it.
You're welcome. Listen, zero regrets here. I swear. I'm so happy to be here. So St. Lucia, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. So it's one of these moments that makes me say, thank you, Lord. Not only am I alive and well, but I'm here in this beautiful island of St. Lucia. More specifically, we're at the complex. But I want to wish everybody a good day, especially those who woke up on time to be here with us. And even, for our late risers, we have room for everybody. Trust me, I have my moments too, but it's what you do after is the makeup that's the greatest. All right. So I want you to go out there, create a great day, and of course, spread the word that DBS This Morning is here. What more can you do? You want the best start to your morning, don't you? I want that for you too. So we'll see you tomorrow for another segment, another show right here on DBS This Morning, and I'll be here to keep you positive. Bye.